I think we got a heck of a shot of winning. We can beat anybody in the world, and I think we're going to win next Sunday.
David Wells has pitched a perfect game. 27 up, 27 down. Baseball immortality for David Wells.
And it's hit deep to left center. Andrew Jones on the run. This one has a chance. Home run! Mike Piazza, and the Mets lead 3-2. Bates against Joseph. Bates in on goal. Shoots. Metho! Defend Metho! And the Rangers have one more helmet fight, baby!
This is the Cross Island Sports Network, where iconic moments get iconic coverage.
You are listening to
the Cross Island Podcast. Action hosted by Lyle Gillen and Errol Marks.
Hello and welcome to the Cross Island Podcast. My name is Lyle Gillen, and nope, there is no Errol Marks here tonight, but I am here with the delightful Joshua Silverberg. Josh, how you doing today?
I'm good. I love that. Delightful. So energetic. Well, my school year is over. I'm on summer vacation, so I feel very reprieved. I feel energetic and just ready to go. I can fill in as many times as I need to fill in now. It's great. My schedule's wide open.
Well, tonight, schedule wide open. Tonight is a massive game in sports. It's the Game 7 for the Stanley Cup Finals between the Edmonton Oilers and the Florida Panthers. Who you got tonight? I
really want to stick with this Florida Panthers pick. I do. I just think this in the back of my mind. I do think they will somehow get through it. I do think Bob is broken right now. I think the Oilers have broken them, and I think they've broken the Panthers' spirits. I mean, you look at that Game 6 prime example, right, where they called the goal offsides when it was not offsides.
It was.
No, I don't think it was. I thought it was.
No, it clearly was. It was fun.
It's such a tough call. I think it was such a tough call to overturn. It was so tight at that point. I thought it was too close to call. But when things are going your way, when things are not going your way, that's what's going to happen. Things are going to go south. If I am Florida tonight, and Bob gives up 2 goals early in the first period, I think you got to yank him. I think you got to pull him because this is it, man. Your season's on the line. Paul Maurice is one of the best coaches. He is. I think he's a Hall of Fame head coach. But if he blows this series, he's not a Hall of Fame coach in my eyes. Then you're 4th on the all-time wins list, and you lose up 3 games to none, and you blow a Game 7 at home. That's a tough one to swallow, and that's a tough one to come back from. So we'll see. I'm still sticking with Florida. I do think they will get through this, but this is a New York show. We'll stick to that, but I'm going to go with the Panthers. I'm wondering who you are going with and why.
I've said it since the beginning. It's going to be the Oilers. The Oilers are 100% better team, I think, down the middle. And that's what wins the Cups today in the NHL is how good are you at the center position? How well can you control the neutral zone? How well can you move the puck? That's what wins, and that's what the Oilers have just been showing how much better they are. I think they've been doing it to the entire series. Just the Panthers have had games where they were close to the first 3 games were close. They were able to just win them, but I'm not surprised at all. It maybe would have gotten to 6 anyway, but 7, that's a great comeback for the Oilers, and I think that just the Oilers' depth down the middle is just too much of a difference maker, and I fully expect them to win this game.
It's just crazy because you do look at what the Florida Panthers went through. I was talking to Errol about this a couple of days ago. You beat Andrei Vasilevsky, Jeremy Swayman, and Igor Shesterkin, and none of those series went to 7 games. And then all of a sudden, boom, here comes Seth Skinner out of nowhere. And it's really, we're all talking about the McDavids and the Hymans, rightfully so. It's great. Everything's coming to, everything's Oilers' way right now. But Seth Skinner's keeping this team as well alive. He's played very well these last couple of games. And you look at the last 2 years, if Seth Skinner wins tonight, the last 2 goalies to win the Stanley Cups are Aiden Hill and Seth Skinner. So that's really that gives you kind of an eye opener when you think about it. When you said the key is down the middle, more teams maybe focus on that a little bit more and not have to overpay in the goaltending market per se. so you don't put all your eggs in one basket and build around the rest of your team. So I think that's something maybe teams can learn from. If you build the depth the right way, you don't need to have necessarily the best goaltender out there. You could have a serviceable goaltender.
Well, I think it's been like that for a while now, where you don't need to spend a fortune on goalies. And you look at the statistics that these goalies that are getting these massive contracts, none of them have won a Stanley Cup.
No, it's I would say obviously Vasilevsky, but
I think the amount he's making, he did not meet the threshold.
Well, that's it. I think he got his extension. Like, I think after it was the second Stanley Cup, I think he got his extension. And at the time, he did not. Yeah, it was. They didn't keep it to the mark where everybody's thinking that some goalie should be at. So to me, it really does. It really does make an eye-opening way for a lot of teams. A lot, I know we'll get to it later with the New York Rangers. Is what do you give an Igor Shesterkin? How much do you give him? And if you give him X, Y, and Z, can you build the rest of your team? That's something that I think needs to be thought about in this process and everything like that. So, I mean, like I said, we'll see what happens.
He's going to get a massive contract. He deserves it. He's been phenomenal for that team. But at the end of the day, I think that the I don't know. I think that history says that you really don't want to give out those massive contracts to goalies. But anyway, we'll stay on the hockey subject. On the 28th, the NHL has their entry draft, and the New York Islanders and New York Rangers both have their first-round picks. The Islanders are drafting 20th, and I believe the Rangers are drafting 29th. So Josh, you're more in tune with the New York Rangers. Who do you think they're going to be going after in the draft?
I mean, really quick, I think it's so crazy how long the NHL season lasts. It literally lasts an entire school year. Like, preseason starts in September. And the Stanley Cup is still going on, and school years are over in a lot of states. It really does last. I really think Sammy Reinhart signed with the St. Louis Blues, and he's playing Game 7 tonight for the Florida Panthers. It's insane what's going on. I mean, but no, joking aside, what do I think the Raiders should do? Listen, everything I've been reading is 29th pick or 30. No,
Rangers 30th.
30th, yeah. So 30th pick. The point is they maybe want to package that pick with Kakko. Move up in the draft, possibly. I'm glad you brought up the middle part. Everything I'm hearing is what the New York Rangers are trying to do is they have already reached out to Anaheim and want to talk trade for Trevor Zegras, which would be, I think, a huge help. He's 23 years old, averages 24 goals a year, 25 a year. Center, you need the help right at center position. It's so vital. It's so key. So we'll see what they do. I mean, like I said, a lot of things I'm hearing is they want to move up in this draft. They want to maybe attach Kakko because he has a very affordable salary. Move up, maybe in the top 15. We'll see how sexy that is for a lot. What the New York Rangers need right now, I mean, like they got Perreault and they got Ottman, so they've done very nicely. Obviously, Perreault's the better player than Ottman, but Ottman's still going to be a nice player. I think top 9 player. Perreault's going to be a stud. You could just see it right now in the confidence the kid has. What I think the Rangers need to do, it's going to sound crazy, but I think they need to replenish their defense. Everything you're seeing right now, because all the defensemen that they've had have been brought up. Keandre Miller's brought up. Brandon Schneider's brought up. They traded in those Lundqvist. A lot of their guys. I mean, Zach Jones is still there. If they somehow trade Trouba, I think Zach Jones is the guy that's going to replace Trouba on the third pair defense. But again, you need to have that in the pipeline. I think defense is so vital. The goaltending front, they're very good in right now. And they're also, like I said, they're good on the wing with Perreault and Ottman. They got to get defense. If they want to go center, they could do that possibly. But again, if you get a guy like Trevor Zegras, you're going to have Zegras, Trocheck, and Zibanejad long-term contracts. It's going to be very hard for a setter to break that line if you draft one because they're long-term deals. So I think defense is the way to go. They need to restock that position. It's very weak for them right now in their farm system. I think that's something, like I said, because after Schneider came up and Jones is here, there's really nothing to write home about this team because the last couple of years, Lyle, you know this, they had one of the best defensive pipelines in the league. Everybody was down in Hartford, and they were down there. They were crushing it, and now they're either all up here, or they're not here anymore. They're gone, and it's amazing how fast things can change. So that's where I stand on it. I think that's where the Rangers need to go is defense. I think they're gonna move up in this draft. It's not a great draft, but if Chris Drury sees something he wants, I think of this in every sport. If you're a GM of a team, whether it's a quarterback or it's something, if that's the guy that's number one on your board and you think he's going to be a benefit to your organization, then you got to find a way to go get the guy. It's simple as that.
Oh, 100%.
You know, and that's the route that I think the New York Rangers need to go. If there's a defenseman out there that they feel, okay, yeah, that can work, and you trade the 30th pick, and you trade Kakko, and you attack maybe like a third-round pick to, say, Detroit, and you get into like the I think they're 13th or 12th, and you move up a pretty nice amount of spots. You're moving up there. So I think that can help go a long way. Plus, like I said, Kakko's salary is very affordable. I don't think he's going to be here next year. He did not take the jump Lafreniere did. So we'll see what happens. I think they're going to go defense, but I wouldn't be shocked if they trade the pick. What are your thoughts on the New York Islanders and what they could be doing? Because it's been a while since they've had a first-round pick.
No, they had one 2 years ago, but they ended up trading it for Romanov. They traded at draft day. I don't think they will use this draft pick again. They have not used one since Simon Holmstrom in 2019.
That's crazy.
I just don't think that they're going to keep it, and I see that it's too much of value for them to move it, and if they can move it, I don't know what they're going to do to improve, because they need to move something or someone, and that first-round pick is going to be important to move a player. So if they end up trying to get rid of dumping Anders Lee, they're going to have to use that first-round pick. I don't know, but it's going to be interesting. I'm not really sure who they could target. There has been some rumors of Nikolai Ehlers getting connected to the Islanders. It's interesting. The Islanders do need left wings, and I think if they can make room, getting a guy like Ehlers would definitely help. But, you never know what Lou Lamoriello is going to do, and he never lets any of that information out. So it's always a surprise.
I would say both presidents in New York don't say anything to anyone about what's going on. I think Lou and Drury are two of the most top secret guys in the league that are out there. They don't talk to the media at all, really. And that's the thing. It's like you said, the problem is this is a draft that's not a strong draft. So I think that's why we have to see how much movement and moving parts there are going to be. I think the coolest thing of this draft is going to be it's at the Sphere. That's the coolest part of the whole freaking thing. I mean, this is one of the worst drafts that everybody's talking about, but the Sphere is the freaking coolest thing ever, and it's also the last draft where everybody's going to be around because it's going to be remote at that point. We'll see how long that lasts for. I hate that idea. I have always thought the NHL draft is kind of wonky because, like, you see how like the NBA is and the NFL is, but the players are in like the green room and stuff like that, whereas like the NHL players are like in the stands. It's kind of like weird.
Yeah.
I always thought that was really freaking weird. I was always like, they don't have a green room for them to sit in like that. Why are they out there? Like, why is Connor McDavid sitting in the stands like some regular Joe Schmo who bought a ticket for probably for $10 or $15? That's the weirdest freaking thing. I was just like, you're telling me that he doesn't deserve the right to be in a green room and have privacy with his family? I think that to me is a very odd thing. It's just a very odd thing. Look, I was supposed to, before the pandemic hit, I was actually with the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. I actually was supposed to go. Arrow actually got he and I credentials to go to Montreal for the 2020 draft. Because once the Rangers were picking, first I was like, oh, this is, we were going to go anyway. but this is really cool and everything like that. And I said Lafreniere and everything like that. And then once Rangers picked it first, I'm like, this is sick. We got to go. And then, of course, they canceled it because of COVID. And then Lafreniere got picked, and the camera was so freaking blurry you couldn't even see anything when he got picked. It was embarrassing. I mean, it was like, what are we doing? But besides, I mean, look, see how our show is. This is a better camera now than what they had for when Lafreniere got picked by the Rangers. That's how horrible it was. But besides that, I think the sphere aspect is cool, and I think this is the perfect draft to do it in. Because, again, you're talking – like last year, you had Connor Bedard, right? You had – everybody says game changer guy that's going to do a lot. Like you're hearing Jake Gensel's connected to the Blackhawks because – with Connor Bedard, right? Everybody wants to play with Bedard. They think he's the next big, great thing. There's not really that this year, but I think what's a selling point, one, it's the last one for the public, but it's also the fact that the location of where it's in. You and I have been to Vegas together.
Yeah.
We love Vegas. It's a lot of fun. It's a blast to go, whether it's the day. As long as if you're going away for the Vegas sign, make sure it's like a 2-minute wait and not like a half an hour wait, because it freaking gets your balls to the wall, hot as hell, and you're going to die of a heat stroke waiting for a sign. Or you go at night and you chill on the strip and everything like that. It's nice. But the sphere aspect, I think, is the coolest thing. And I think the NHL really did get creative with that. But I am curious to see, like you said, what the Islanders do with their like I said, and the Rangers too. I think they're both in very fascinating spots because the Rangers, again, their farm system was one of the best the last couple of years, and it's dropped because, again, as what happens in every sport, you graduate. When everybody graduates, there's nothing left, and you got to replenish. The Rangers are trying to do that with Ottman and Perreault, and I really do think Drew is going to trade up. And again, I think he'll get Costco. As far as Lou goes, Lou is a very fascinating case because I feel like Lou's immune to first-round draft picks. I don't want this crap. No. But meanwhile, he did good with Dobson. So I was like, you did pretty good. I mean, I know Wallstrom hasn't turned out well, but you went 1 for 2. You went 1 for 2, which, listen.
50%.
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty good. Noah Dobson's one. Listen, I mean, I'm in.
Hey, I think Mike Villeray 1 year went 0 for 4 in the first round.
Listen, I'm in keeper fantasy hockey. Noah Dobson, when I drafted him in my keeper league, I'm like, oh, he's just a filler. Noah Dobson's one of my keepers now on my team. He had a great freaking year this year. He did the stupid thing when he lost me a point against the Rangers in the Stadium Series game. That cost me because he had a net minus on that play, but be it as it may, he had a great, fantastic year. And, I feel like if you're the Islanders, they have I would think they still are one of the worst farm systems out there right now.
Well, they don't draft anybody to play into it.
So that's the point. I would
they
think
really don't have a good. They might have 1 or 2 guys that.
I was gonna say, but that's the thing. But if you're Lou, I feel like this is an older team. You have to build something for the future. Like, you got to give something because, like you said, Martin, Clutterbuck.
Well, the core is
going to be out.
The entire core of the team is pretty young. So
yeah, we're talking about Horvat and Barzal. Dobson.
Yeah, you have Dobson, you have Thoreau. The core and Romanov. The core of this team is.
No, of course, but you also you need to have building blocks. You need to have a lot of depth. That's the big key. You need to have like Brock Nelson, Condersley, and those guys. You need to, like I said, it's about building blocks that just having development for in the future, especially in the NHL. Development is so key nowadays because when you see it, especially when teams get older, you're seeing it now with the Rangers. Even the Rangers for years and years and years when they went through the rebuild, it's going to take a while. Now, obviously, it went faster because they got Lafreniere and Panarin signed and everything like that. But the biggest thing was, can Shesterkin come over to the States and translate what he did in Russia? And he has. And I do think Sorokin will do the same thing. I think he is going to have a bounce-back year next year. I think this was kind of a wacky, wonky year. The head coach, you know what I'm saying? They lost. What the heck was his name? The head coach on the Islanders.
Lambert, they fired him.
Lambert, yeah, I call him the vampire.
Fired him into the freaking sun. Well, anyway, the New York Mets are currently one of the hottest teams in New York sports.
Thank you, Grimace. And you're wearing purple for the occasion.
No,
Thank you so much.
It's a reddish color.
We'll go with purple. That's okay. Thank you. That's good.
The New York Mets have been one of the hottest teams in baseball. The last time we did this show, I did it with Errol, and one of the talking points
really
was, are the Mets the worst team in baseball? And their pitching has really turned it around. Their offense has been great. I think they have, ever since, what's his name, said they're the worst team and quit, I feel like they've been one of the hottest teams in baseball. It really got them going.
Lopez.
Yep, that's his name.
Yeah.
The bum.
It was, so, I mean, I have a lot to say on this whole thing, and I know what this is leading to. This is leading to the Edwin Diaz situation that happened yesterday.
Can't talk about that.
I know, of course. And listen,
the guy gets thrown out of the game for cheating,
I mean, well, of course, but here's what I will say.
What did he like? What, really? How stupid are you?
Well,
to go
here's
put
the thing.
That shit on your hand.
Well, no, because here's what it was, and even so, David Cohn.
What do you go?
No. So did you watch? So if you watched the live broadcast, David Cohn said it last night. David Cohn knew exactly what it was right away. He said, "That's rosin." That's exactly what David Cohn said it right away. That's rosin. It's so ridiculous, and it's so funny. The umpire then told Mendoza and Diaz, "It was too much rosin. You have to go." So I was like, wait a minute, but you have a rosin bag on the pitcher's mound. What do you mean it's too much rosin? That doesn't make sense. And then the umpire came after the game and says, that definitely wasn't rosin. And Mendoza and Diaz were like, no. That's not what he said. He said it this way, blah, blah, blah. And the other part of it is this. I'm actually going to do this in the next couple of days. I'm actually going to buy a rosin bag on Amazon. I'm going to stay outside of the heat. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the rosin on, hands sweat, and I'm going to, ask Melissa, somebody, feel the hand, and you tell me if it's sticky or not. And if it is, I'm going to say that's nonsense. Because the reality is this. Last year, Domingo Germán had the same issue. But you know what the umpires did? They let Germán go and wash his hands. They didn't let Diaz do that yesterday. I'm not saying this because I'm a Met fan. I'm saying this because this is a bogus situation that when a pitcher on the broadcast, David Cohn, says that's rosin and sweat. It is ridiculous that he's being thrown out of the game and at the very least not being asked to wash his hands. Another thing you could do is this. It's very simple. You take a Q-tip, you get it off the guy's hand, you let him pitch. Take it to a lab. If the lab, it comes back positive and there's another substance, he's suspended 10 games.
Who had that bright idea?
That was me.
Oh, really?
I said that to myself. I said, why don't you have a Q-tip and put it that way? And just send it to a lab and see what happens. And he lived, because here's the thing. The point of rosin is this. Rosin and also sweat, it is sticky, but the point of it is it's supposed to have a grip on the baseball. Not just for yourself to be able to throw it strikes, but to be able to put the batters in a very safe way where they're at the plate and the ball is not going all over the place, a la Rick Ankiel style, then somebody gets whopped in the face. We saw it the other day in the Pittsburgh-Tampa game. Ahmed Rosario got hit in the eye.
Rick Ankiel, he went from being a pitcher to a hitter.
Yeah, but look at...
He had to get revenge on the pitchers.
Look what happened the other day. Ahmed Rosario got hit in the eye. Luckily, no structural damage. It's things like that.
It happens. It doesn't happen as often.
No, but what I'm saying is, though, if it is rosin and the umpire is telling him it's too much rosin, why is a rosin bag on the pitcher's mound for the pitchers to use then?
That's very fair. That's a very fair point. If it is rosin, then why is he?
And why is the ump saying it's too much rosin when he's then going to the media afterwards and say that definitely wasn't rosin? But here's my other thought process that I had in this. So there's 4 umpires, right? 4 of them are discussing this last night. They're discussing this. 4. It's taken them 3 minutes to decide if it's sticky and he should be ejected or not. Dude, either you know or you don't. You don't need 4 imbeciles to have a little powwow circle.
Here's the thing. I did a very, very, very quick Google search.
Okay, go. What's
so it could be wrong, but it could be right.
Okay. Whoa, I mean, there's a 2 options. Wow.
50% chance on a quick Google search.
Or it could be shot to the sun, and we'll never know.
They allow rosin
Mm-hmm.
But they were also feeling his glove, if I remember.
They said there was nothing on the glove. It was just his hands.
Okay, because it's not allowed in the glove.
Nope, they said there was nothing on the glove or his belt.
And there was nothing in the glove. I did remember watching the video. They were looking at the glove too. But if there was nothing there,
yeah.
Then I don't know. But
they confirmed there was nothing on the glove or his belt, and he showed his cap. There was nothing on the cap either. So those are the other three. I mean, look, do I have to go Michael Pineda on everybody and show everybody the obvious about how to not do something correctly? I mean, let's call it like it is. But Diaz said it after the game. He said, I'm going to do the same thing again because it's legal. But the part that really...
here's the thing on this. If they have a rosin bag out there, why didn't he just wait, have the non-sticky hands with the umpire, then take the rosin when it's time to go out?
He used it in the bullpen. But here's the thing. Why is it in the bullpen then for the pitchers to use? Why is it allowed in there? But the other thing, too, is this. Why was he not given the option he's never been an offender? He's never been shown to do this. Why didn't he get the option to wash his hands? Why is it certain players?
Maybe the umpires weren't sure if it was rosin. I don't know.
Oh, the umpires weren't sure. There were 4 of them. They were sitting in a circle for 5 minutes trying to figure out if it was too sticky or not. Either you know or you don't. It's not rocket science, okay? This isn't physics. You feel the hand. Is it good? No? All right. Fine. Move on. I'm not. This angers me for any team.
I wouldn't be shocked though if Edwin Diaz was using stuff. Now, just from a...
I hope he was because I hope he started to because he was sucking when he wasn't.
That's the thing. Like he lost his closing job. Now he's coming in a closing situation, and
he got it back last week, and he was doing mediocre.
Yes. But like, here's the thing. You're in that position as a professional athlete. It's not just, hey, my pride. This is my job and my livelihood. We've seen it happen before, where bullpen guys will be dominant. All of a sudden, that's it. Something happens and they can't get anybody out and they're gone.
Well, he also was out for the entire year last year.
Yes, he was. But here's the thing. I wouldn't be shocked if he started trying to do that out of desperation. I'm not saying he did, or I think he did. I'm just saying
I hope he wouldn't. He gets away with it because, God damn it, he needed something because he sucked. All right, the last few months. I mean,
I wouldn't be shocked as a person who's not a Met fan that if I heard that it was confirmed he did, because when you're in that type of position and you do lose your job and then you get it back, you're a little desperate. You want.
But then what was Max Scherzer's excuse last year when he was pitching well and he had it? I mean, but it's true though. That's the thing. Like, it's you can't discount one.
Maybe that was rosin too.
Most of the time, it is. I mean, that's the thing because it's. Listen, this is something that's got to be completely fixed. You can't go by a judgment call by 4
I think that's if rosin is causing that much of a problem, then what they need to do is have no rosin in the bullpen. Because why do you need it in the bullpen anyway?
You got to grip the ball so you don't freaking lunge the ball at other guys in the bullpen that are sitting down in chairs so they don't get crushed.
But they're usually behind like a fence thing, right?
It depends.
The only time I can see it.
It depends bullpens.
The only time I can see it is if it's one of those weird bullpens that are not in the back somewhere and is right there on the side of the field. Which I don't know why we even have that in 2024 anymore. That's the only way I can actually sit here and think that it's realistic to have the rosin. It's weird as shit. Like, if I'm a fan, I see some important reliever about to come in, I'm gonna try and get under his skin. I'm gonna scream shit to the guy.
No, I'm gonna say, hey, what's up? Can you sign my baseball?
No, I'm gonna get under his skin. Especially if it's the other team.
Yeah.
Boom.
Let me tell you this right now. Who? I'm trying to think of a dominant closer in baseball right now. That's out there. It's actually weird because the closers this year in baseball have been very mediocre this year. It's kind of crazy.
I feel like last year and this year the pitching has definitely gotten.
It's of course. Look at how many injuries there are this year.
Yeah.
It's because of all this stuff. And the thing is, if now you're taking rosin away, these pitchers now officially have no control over the baseball. And you know what's going to happen? Somebody's going to get seriously injured because of this. Whether it's a pitcher by the elbow again, or a batter's going to get hit in the face, and they're going to say, "Oh, well, they said we can't use any rosin, so that's what we're going to have to do."
But here's my problem with this entire sticky stuff crap. Why is it such a big deal that they are using it when throughout baseball history
they've all used it?
They have all either used that or people have tried to find a way to gain an advantage. It does not make sense why
because Rob Manfred doesn't have any control of this sport. Here's the thing. Rob Manfred, he doesn't know what the sticky stuff. He doesn't know basically how the baseball should be. Should they be Should they be weighted more? Should they be less weighted so they could go further for more home runs? He doesn't know.
I think
double headers, runner on second, or anything like that.
If you're going to be having baseballs get loaded so they can go farther for home runs, then you need to have the pitchers be allowed to use sticky stuff.
Well, this is all Rob Manfred's sport. I mean, look, and I understand. Listen, I understand. Yes, the sport time-wise has gotten shorter.
It has. I'll give him credit for that.
It is. We say credit, but the truth of the matter is, when you think of this pitch clock, though, some of these pitchers are really starting to rush now. And that's also putting a strain on a lot of these pitchers. Because when you look at the injuries that have happened the last couple of months.
What we had the other day? The Nationals had a game where they lost. It was a walk-off pitch clock violation.
Yeah, I know.
That's the dumbest crap in the entire.
Well, that's what it is. You see, but you said you would give him credit, but that's what it is. I mean,
I will. Listen, credit. He wanted to make the game shorter, and he did. But
yes, but
look
at the pitchers he's lost.
For the clock? Nah, that's dumb.
Look at these pitchers he's lost in the last year: Spencer Strider, Shane Bieber, Sandy Alcantara, on and on and on and on. Garrett Cole's got arm injuries. Verlander's got problems.
I don't think that's because of that. It's been for a trend for a while now.
I think it's a mix of everything. From that using sticky stuff, from that to the pitch clock. It is. Garrett Cole was known as one of the slowest pitch workers in the game.
It's been a thing for ever since, even before that, where pitchers were getting injured, and the trajectory was going up. Where it was almost a guarantee for a while that a pitcher was going to have to get Tommy John at some point in
their
career.
That is a guarantee, but it's happening a lot more. And some guys are now getting it twice now. So think about it in that perspective. Now you're getting it 2 times. That's a very rare occurrence where that should not be happening. Now, listen, I'm all for the sport to going faster. I mean, look, if I took my son to a Mets game, I swear he'd be done by the 4th inning and say, I want to leave. So, I mean, look, it is what it is. You want to make it go faster, that's fine. But you also got to look at it in this perspective.
Well, to be fair,
there's a lot more pitchers.
You want to be there as a Met fan after the 4th inning?
The way they're playing right now, sure, they're playing great.
Well, if you went in April, would you want us to go there past the 4th inning?
No, because it would be 30 degrees. Why would I want to go to that? I don't go if it's 60 degrees and below.
Caleb is right once again.
If it's 60 degrees and below, you won't see me there unless it's opening day. That's the fact. I'm just throwing it out there. Now, I want to take him probably to the Mets Nationals game. It's the afternoon game though, the day afternoon game, because he really can only do a day game, 1 o'clock game.
Yeah,
that's all the kid can do. Because I can't take the kid to a freaking 7-10 Mets game. The kid's gonna be knocked out sleeping by the 3rd inning, and it's 8:15. So it's like, unless you give him cotton candy, which I'm not doing. So it's like, gotta call. But going back off the track here with the Mets, the way they're playing, listen. They're playing very well. It's a mishmash of wild card teams. Your team's in it live with the Nationals. It's a mosh pit right now.
It's like the NHL wild card race right now.
Nobody wants it. Actually, other than the Braves, who, by the way, impressively, without Acuna and Strider, won 2 out of 3 against the Yankees at Yankee Stadium, which was pretty good.
Yeah, that was impressive.
I mean, they're being led by Marcell Ozuna, who shouldn't even be in baseball anymore. He's had 50 billion chances to not be here anymore, but it is what it is. Those two, it's not one, but the 2 wild card spots are between the Giants, the Mets, the Nationals, the Cardinals, the Diamondbacks. The Cubs? What is Craig Counsell saying right now? Damn, I should have stayed with Milwaukee and not taken the money with the Cubs, or like, wow, maybe the Mets did look pretty good, better than my Cubs team did. Yeah, maybe I should have done that because Mendoza outmanaged me this weekend. That sucks. I mean, it's like, which kudos to Mendoza. Mendoza has actually done a decent job. It just pisses me off when I talk to Arrow. What tree did he come from? So it's like the Mets can't even have a nice manager for a few weeks because he's a Yankee guy. It's like, give me a break. I mean, Great.
Well,
maybe the Yankees should have hired him then instead of kept me.
Good job on that segue to our next topic. The New York Yankees are barely holding on to first, and now Stanton is out for a month. Now, I feel like this is a yearly occurrence, and I mentioned it to Earl also.
Occurrence.
The guy can't stay healthy. He's inconsistent as a ball player, and now he's out again.
He actually had been playing well, though, which kind of sucked.
He had been.
Yeah, and this is actually the second year in a row.
It's inevitable every year that he will get hurt.
This is the second year in a row, actually, where he was playing well, and he got hurt. And you're thinking to yourself, oh, man, this stinks, because now it's interesting when we look at this Yankee lineup area like that, because the Yankees have different things we're trying to figure out with them. The corner spots with Rizzo and the third base spot, not good. Trying to figure that out. The second base spot with Torres. It's so funny. Every Yankee fan assumes that Gleyber Torres will not be back next year. Listen, he's best friends with Juan Soto. If the Yankees let Torres go, try to figure out with Soto, is that really going to be a good thing with Soto and the great stuff you're throwing him
out? Soto was around the Nationals watching his best friends leave every year.
And he wasn't happy. Look, he didn't take the extension.
No, that had nothing to do with it.
It's the money, baby. It's all about the money. It's the money.
It had nothing to do with it. It was he's a poorest client. He was never re-signing.
Exactly. It's a money thing. That's why I remember I told
you. No, they could have offered him $700 million, and as contracts he would get now, and he still wouldn't have re-signed.
And that's why I told him.
It had nothing to do with that.
And I told Errol this too, and I said this to him the other day. I said to him, he goes, "Did you hear the Yankees? Soto said he wants to negotiate in the season." I said, "That's great. Congratulations. The starting point to get Soto back during the season is going to be over $700 million."
Yeah. He doesn't want to be. Apparently, he doesn't want to have deferred money.
He's going to the highest bidder.
100%.
That is where Soto's. Everybody assumes he's staying with the Yankees, But here's the thing.
He's going to go to the Giants.
I don't know where he's going to go because here's the thing. If the Mets trade Alonso, it's a massive opening the Mets are going to have to pay this guy. And I don't want to give him $800 million. I'd be furious if the Mets did that.
I don't think the Mets are going to get rid of Alonso, and I don't think the Mets are going to get Soto. I am very confident that.
Oh, then that means it's definitely happening. If you're very confident he's going to the Giants, then they're definitely not getting him.
I'm very confident that the Giants are going to give him the biggest contract.
Let me tell you something.
I'm not saying that he's going to sign that.
I was saying if the Mets are in it, then the Mets, if they want the guy, a la Max Scherzer said he would never play in New York. If they want the guy, someone will say, "Okay, here's a blank check. What do you want?" And then I'm going to be upset because they're going to give Soto this 10-year deal worth almost $750, and I'm going to be furious because I'm going to say, that's not a good way how you spend your resources. That is horrible.
No matter what contract he has, after 3 years, he's going to have an opt-out. He's going to have it be hit free agency again.
Look, if he's getting $800 million, that might be a tough one.
But here's the thing. He's 100% going to hit free agency again before 30.
Here's the thing. If I'm the Yankees and I'm trying
he's going to go to the Giants. He's going to go to the Giants. In 3 years, he'll opt out. He's going to go to free agency, and then he's going to get a massively big contract again.
The Giants are great at getting star players. I like Aaron Judge and Carlos Correa. They're fantastic at getting those done. So, we'll see about this one. The thing about the Yankees is this.
But here's the thing. The Giants have went after Bryce Harper. Mm-hmm. They have went after every big name since that free agency window. And hello?
I'm here.
Okay. It was very staticky on your end.
Sorry.
I very much think that they went after Ohtani. They offered the same deal as the Dodgers. I think the Giants are going to offer him the biggest contract. Now, do I think he will sign there? I think he will, but I am guaranteeing that he's going to get offered the biggest contract by them. But I will not be shocked if he got offered the biggest contract and said no thanks and then went to the Yankees for less money.
Yep. Look at it in this perspective. Here's what we have to think about it for the Yankees. And look, I wouldn't be shocked if he's back with the Yankees either. But this is where the Yankees come into play. It's their contract.
I don't want him there.
But here's the thing. This is where the contracts are right now. Judge is getting an exuberant contract. Stanton still got 5 years left. Garrett Cole's going to take the option, and then therefore he's going to be there for another 4 or 5 years. You have LeMahieu for another 2 years. You have Rizzo for another year. Do you know what I'm saying? This is going to be, where the Yankees, you have Rodon for another 3 years. So think about all these contracts I just threw at you, right? I just threw at you, 6 or 7 guys with contracts with 2 years or more left on them. It's going to be it's going to take a lot for Steinbrenner to eat crow and say, all right, we got to go over the luxury tax, because he does not want to do it. But the only way you're going to get Soto back with the Judge contract, with Stanton, with Cole, with Rodon, with all these with Rizzo, all these contracts, LeMahieu, all these contracts. And also, by the way, in a few years, Volpe's going to need a new contract. So think about that one. That's another guy. Are they going to let Nestor Cortez walk as a free agent? Okay, so he leaves, right? Now you got to replace that starting pitching. The Yankees are in a financial flux where they need to figure out what they have, what they're going to do. Now, listen, if the Yankees make the playoffs this year, which they're going to, but they flame out in the division round or the championship series, it's the same song and dance then. Are they going to now question, okay, so here's the thing. If
that happens, they're 100%, they will the next day fire Aaron Boone.
But the thing is, too, is that here's the thing as well. They're then going to say, okay, well, we could bring Soto back, but that's the only move we can make to improve on this team, because we're going to be
It's not even an improvement.
But that's the thing. They're going to be so over the luxury tax, because you're going to have to fill first base, second base, third base, starting pitching, their bullpen. You're going to have to refill all that. And then you're going to pay Soto an $800 million contract on top of Judge and Stanton and Rodon and Cole. It's almost impossible, because, what's going to happen when Volpe needs a contract? What's going to happen when Luis Gil needs a contract? What are you going to do? I understand basically there's no salary cap, but
this management of the Yankees is different than the Steinbrenners. The Steinbrenners, they wouldn't. They're still Steinbrenner.
It's a different form of a Steinbrenner.
It's a different form. George Steinbrenner wouldn't have cared. He would have just given him Soto the money that he asked for and not given a crap about it.
I mean, look, when George was around, there was no luxury tax penalty. That's the reality. That's the reality. There was no, and also remember, if you watch the Yankee documentary series on Peacock, Gene Michael was the one that built that Yankee team. It wasn't George. George was hated by Yankee fans. The Yankee fans wanted it. They were celebrating when he got kicked out of baseball, and Gene Michael took over, and that was
for a while. It was. You are 100% correct.
Yeah. So I mean, George kind of added layers on things, but then what did George do after 2000? Let me buy Jason Giambi, Gary Sheffield, Mike Messina. Let me do this and that, and put my hand and do all that. Bring these guys in, and they didn't win. And then in 2009, they had to run with CeCe and Burnett and Teixeira, and it was a ball championship. But they haven't even been to a World Series since 2009. That's the crazy part about it too. So to me, I need to see. Here's the thing: when I look at Scott Boras' clients, I bring up the Max Scherzer thing. For years, Max Scherzer did not want to pitch in New York, but you know what Max Scherzer did? He took the biggest freaking contract because he knew as a players union rep, he said, as a player rep, I need to take the biggest contract because if I don't, I'm hurting my side of the union, and therefore I have to take that contract. That's why if you're Soto, you have to think about this too, because if you're on the players union and you take a shorter contract, depending on what the dollars and cents are, here's the thing. If you're going to throw the Mets and the Giants offers to the Yankees offers,
if they're not,
it's going to be close.
If they're
it's not going to be close.
If the Giants and the Yankees offer is close, and he chooses,
well, of course he'll go back to the Yankees. Aaron Judge did.
My situation I'm talking about is the Giants offer a little bit more money, and he goes to the Yankees who offer a little bit less. That's not going to really affect the union.
It depends what it is.
As long as they're giving, as long as he's taking more money average annual value than Ohtani.
But again,
yes,
and this is where, and again, this is where it goes to. See, that's the thing. I can never put anything past the Mets because Cohen's worth $21 billion. Cohen's already exceeded the luxury tax penalty, so clearly he doesn't give a crap. If he feels that this is the right player to build your team around, a 25-year-old outfielder who's thriving in New York City right now, and you feel he's a guy that can do well, I mean, they're gonna do it. That's the reality of it. And if the Mets are in it, nobody's outbidding the Mets. That's the reality. If the Mets want Soto, they'll overpay for Soto, and it's going to be a contract that somebody like myself is not going to like because I'm going to see a 10-year deal. Listen, it's great. He's 25 years old. If they give him an 8-year deal, he could play till what? 32. He's still in his prime. Fantastic. I don't like giving contracts out past 5 years. That's why when I see Pete Alonso right now asking for a 6-year deal, 7-year deal, worth near $300 million, I say to myself, are you out of your ever? And Met fans are like, sign him, do it. Are you stupid?
They are, yes.
You're going to give him a 6 or 7-year deal for $300 million? What? No. That's a contract that you do not. First off, he's not better than Matt Olson. He's not better than Freddie Freeman. Now, granted, he's one of the best first basemen in baseball. He is. But he's not worth 7 years for $300+ million. I'm sorry. I don't care that he's a homegrown guy.
See,
you should know this with your guys with the Nationals. You should
here's my thing. Pete Alonso is the
And by the way, Scott Boras client, by the way, so
he is the I want to say the personality of the Mets and the Mets fan base.
He's hyped. He's a hyped up guy.
But if you know what I mean, like he embodies what the Mets mean and the Mets personality, and
100%.
And he has a massive connection with the fans that is beyond what they do on the field. Letting him go after they let DeGrom go is a very bad move.
Well, now hold on.
Listen, I hold on. I agreed letting DeGrom go.
So did I.
But you have two players who were loved by fans and were very good players, and if they let Pete Alonso go, they're saying we don't care about what the fans want and what the fans like. We don't care about their.
I wouldn't care what the fans want either, because the fans are not right 80% of the time.
But Pete Alonso is one of the, like you said, one of the best first basemen in baseball.
Mm-hmm.
He very much should be re-signed.
Okay.
There's no reason to let a player like him leave. But if they choose to let him go, it's, I think, a slap in the face to the Mets fans after they let DeGrom go.
So, well, one, DeGrom didn't want to be here anymore. That was number one. I mean, DeGrom got to buy a freaking ranch with 300 lands of acre to have his own farm for his wife to have a farm in Texas. That was number one. So it wasn't that they didn't want him back. They offered him a contract. The truth is, he took the Texas deal. You know the story.
Mm-hmm.
The Mets were trying to call him. He was ignoring their phone calls to try to rebuttal the contract. And he wouldn't give the Mets the opportunity to kind of give it a fair offer back. He took the Texas deal without letting the Mets giving them a chance to, counter offer. You know why he did that? Because he knew. No, one, he didn't want to be there, but two, he knew the Mets offer was going to be bigger than the Rangers offer, and he was going to have to take it. And he said, "No, I don't want to do that." That's why he did that. Which, by the way, I didn't want DeGrom back either.
It's a smarter move in longevity-wise to not resign DeGrom.
I'm not loyal to players like that. I don't have a heart. I'm a heartless SOB when it comes to that stuff, man. I'm telling you right now, I really am. I've been that way for years with all of my franchises, with the Rangers, with the Jets, with the Knicks. All Knicks fans are hearing. You're hearing about the Mitchell Robinson trade rumors. How can you let him go? He's a homegrown player. Blah blah blah. Dude, he's a fragile man who complains all the time. See, and this is the thing. Like my mother-in-law, you know my mother-in-law, massive Rangers fan. She thinks I'm so heartless with the Rangers and the players. Like I said to her when they lost to Florida, I said, "This core, split it up. Get rid of this core. Mika, Panarin, I gotta have questions about these guys. Are they playoff performers? If they're not, they can't be here. Oh, come on. Blah, 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 blah. I'm the same way. You're going to get Pete Alonso a 7-year, 300. Let me ask you this. Is Pete Alonso worth 7 years? If he said, I want 7 years, $325 million, would you do that deal for Pete Alonso?
$25 million a year?
Yeah.
How old?
7 years? He's 31.
20 actually?
And all he does is hit home runs. He doesn't play defense.
But you know what? 25 in 7 years is not going to be that big of a dent.
But let me tell you this: with his attribute, right, which is what?
And
power.
It's going to be lost. But you know what? You put it at DH, he'll be a guy who can still hit 20, 25, 30 home runs.
He's not going to be worth $25 million. I'm not paying that.
But you know what? You're going to pay him for the production now. And if he helps you win now, and then at the end, you got to you're going to have two or 3 years of overpayment. Would you take that?
No, because I can't give a commitment to that guy for that. I don't even want to give that commitment to Soto. I think giving these long-term contracts are crazy. It's outrageous. Soto's going to get Soto's going to get a 10-year deal. It's outrageous.
No, he's going to get more than that.
Probably right. It's
probably
ridiculous. Yamamoto got a 12-year deal. The guy never stepped foot on the major league mound before. It's insane what's going on. It's outrageous. And everybody says to me, "Oh, you would just let Pete walk like that?" No. What I would do is at the deadline, I would trade Pete, get a haul back for him, and then re-sign him at free agency because guess what? He's a Scott Boras client. So if the Mets offer him the most money, he's going to take it. Just like the Yankees, remember when they traded Aroldis Chapman and they brought him back? The Yankees got a good deal for Chapman and they brought him back the next year. It's simple as that. But if you're going to ask me who would I rather have on my team, Juan Soto or Pete Alonso, I can only have one. It's easy. It's a no-brainer. I'm taking Soto. It's not close. So that's
you're taking Soto, who could end up making $40 million when you could have
25 years old. 25-year-old. Yeah.
But
a better all-around player. Home runs, RBIs, batting average.
But the Mets have so many holes. You wouldn't want to fill two of those holes with two very good players.
I would love. Are you saying to me I would like to keep both of them?
No.
Okay.
Sign one of them, but here's the thing: if you sign Soto, that's probably going to take away someone from another position.
What do you mean?
And the Mets need a lot. The Mets need starting pitching. They need multiple batters. They need a lot.
Well, that's why I'm saying I think they have to be very frugalent on what they're going to sign this offseason. And right now, listen, they're in this wild card race that had zero expectations. So all the guys that David Stearns has brought in, from Severino to Torrens from the Yankees, the catcher, to Jose Iglesias, who's done a really nice job. I mean, he's hitting 440 right now. Just Harrison Bader. Think about the guys that he's brought in. Like Manaya and these guys. Been good. And these are just low. There was no pressure on them this year. David Stearns knows what he's doing. And I hate the idea when Arrow said, "That's it, David Stearns. He's on the clock now. He's on the clock." He's on the clock. Have you seen the mess that he has to clean up? Because Billy Epler was a disaster for this team. And the only reason why Epler had the job was because nobody else would take the job, because Sandy Olson was still the president of the team. And the only reason why Sandy was the president of the team was so Cohen could get into Major League Baseball. You think he really wanted Sandy to be the president? Oh, God, no. Oh, my God, no.
Yeah, that one didn't make sense to me because he did bad.
He didn't have a choice. He had to get in.
He did bad the first time. Why would they want to bring him back a second time? Well, anyway, Our last subject of the wonderful evening before we watch.
Oh, it's been a great evening.
Before we go and kill some cats tonight. Boomer Esiason reported that he had heard that there were rumors of Belichick being linked to the Jets.
Oh, stop.
And we know what happened the last time they got linked. It was terrible, and the Patriots won 6 Super Bowls. So, after getting denied by everybody, I would not be shocked because money talks.
I think he's got a better chance of. Well, one, he didn't get denied by everybody because he got the hottie 24-year-old. So I think he's got a better chance of that relationship hanging around than he does of being the Jets head coach.
Maybe she's a Jets fan. That's how he'll get back in.
Here's my question, really quick. I was talking to my wife about this yesterday. I said to her, I said, "You hear about this Belichick story?" She didn't hear about it. I said, "I told her about it." She goes, and then I go to her, I go, "What do you think they talk about? Like, what do you think they talk about? 172 and 124. Yeah. Like, it's like, can you imagine she comes home to dinner with her? Hey, Dad, guess who I brought over? Bill Belichick's my boyfriend.
You think they met because, like, she was his nurse and taking care of him?
No.
And then, like,
I don't know where they met, but honestly, the whole link that came out, he was at a cheerleading competition at Disney World. I thought he was going there to support, like, his niece or his cousin or something. It turns out his girlfriend was in one of the competitions. I was like, I thought he was going to support a family member. Like, that was the, like, I just don't even know what to talk about. That's number one. Number two, I think there's a better chance of this relationship lasting than him being even remotely connected to the New York Jets. That's never going to happen.
Wait, hold on. A year ago, if someone said, what do you think is more likely, Bill Belichick dating a 20-year-old or Bill Belichick becoming the head coach?
Come on, Lau, have a little respect. She's 24, damn it.
You're right, 24. What would you have believed?
Neither. I would have said, is there a choice C?
I would have believed it.
It's wild. I mean, it's just I'm just thinking about it in my head. I'm like, what are they speaking about? Like, what are the topics that come up? Like
the will.
Could one be about watching an episode of Leave It to Beaver, and the other one is talking about? No, I was watching Jersey Shore, a rerun the other day. Like, could that be a thing that happens? Like, what could be discussed?
I don't know, but like, I think she's definitely in it for the money. Like, hey, like, well, I don't know how much money he has.
Oh, God, Lyle, come on, it's the end of the money.
He's probably gonna poison him somehow, and he'll die of a heart attack, and then
I don't know. I've seen Bill do some pretty evil things as a head coach. I think he could smell poison from a mile away. He's the king and culprit of getting away with things in the NFL, a la Deflategate and all that stuff. If
she dies, it's him.
Impossible.
Yeah, 100%.
Yes, but that's good. I love ending the show with death. That's good. And a 24-year-old dating a 17-year-old.
Hold on. It's okay. It's Bill Belichick.
Yeah, I guess. But listen.
Hold on. Wait a minute. One more question.
Okay, sure. Okay.
So, say as this link happens, and the Jets start off 0-3, and they fire Saleh, bring in Bill Belichick, and we end up winning a Super Bowl with Bill Belichick as the head coach. Does your opinion of him change?
I mean, of course, but I don't think it's going to be, I honestly, I don't think it's going to be Belichick. To me, I think do
you think that he would care? He wants to break the head coaching wins record, saying that no other team will hire him. The Jets come calling along. All he has to do is coach 2 seasons with the Jets with a phenomenal team.
Well,
do you think he does that or no?
I mean, if Saleh gets fired during the year, Ulbricht's going to be the interim head coach, and he deserves it, by the way. Ulbricht will be the interim head coach. That's number one.
It depends on
as long as it's not freaking oh God, what's his name? Oh,
I don't know.
I'm trying to think.
Nathaniel Hackett.
Yeah,
Nathaniel Hackett, head coach for Revenge Tour.
Yeah, no, it's definitely. I mean, look, the Jets were trying to find another guy to be over him, but wanted to keep him in the same title because they didn't want to hurt Aaron's feelings. What are we doing? So it's almost like, to me, I think Ulbricht would be the guy that gets the job, and I think Ulbricht would thrive as the head coach of the New York Jets. I think he should be the head coach of the New York Jets if they're going to do this. I think Saleh has no semblance of how to read a room. Because here's the reality. This whole Rodgers missing 2 days, I know you discussed this with Arrow. The whole missing 2 days of training camp, this all could have just been avoided if Saleh just said, we excused him, everything's good, he kept in touch. Why do you have to open it up and say he's getting fined?
And I don't know who it was that said it, but it's very, very understanding that they said that wasn't excused because they can't say that's excused And then say that Hassan Reddick.
Don't say anything. Just shut up. Just shut up. Why say anything?
That's another
all
option.
you did was open up a media storm when it was so unnecessary. Just say, we've kept in contact. We gave him, he told us about the trip. We'll leave it at that. You don't have to say it's unexcused and he's getting fined for it. Bro, read the room. What are you doing, dude? Do you not do public speaking before you're a head coach? I mean, come on, man. God. I did like Hassan Reddick's robe, though, in Japan, though. That was pretty sick. That was a sly robe that he had on walking the streets of Tokyo. I'm not going to lie on it. And probably that's what he's probably our best pass rusher. Bro, the guy's wearing a robe like that, and he's going to kick somebody's ass on the field this year. Pretty good. I give him props for that. Touche on you.
Josh Allen, whose ass he kicks. Okay, well, on that note, we're going to be ending for tonight. Tune in next week when Errol comes back, hopefully. If not, we'll have Josh here again, and he's welcome back anytime.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you for filling in last minute.
And I'll see you Sunday.
Yes, see you Sunday for Forbidden Door.
Yes,
everybody else, have a wonderful night.